Hey, so I want to do like a video whiteboard series on stuff that isn't just like gear stuff. This is more like the nerd brain things. So, with everything going on too, the whole Iran thing and Israel and Turkey and who knows wherever else, Venezuela, country of the month. Everyone should be aware of the different generations of warfare. First generation warfare, that's like the Revolutionary War era type stuff. Beginning of Civil War. So it's muskets, huge formations, battle formations, based off the Roman Greek system and others, both with cannons and everything. After that, you have your second generation warfare, which is the Civil War, American Civil War, Napoleonic period, I suppose. Napoleon III, not first, and then that's when you have the beginning of like the hand crank Gatling gun, your Maxim machine guns, up to World War One, where you're seeing a transition from this Revolutionary Civil War era into the beginning of modern warfare. Not the game, like actual modern warfare systems. Now, these here, these third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, circle, cross, square, square with a circle and cross, is mostly a reference for me. So third, really World War One's beginning of modern warfare. Third generation warfare would be World War II. You kind of still have formations and stuff, but now you have, actually in World War One you have the beginning of airplanes and dirigibles. So you have aerial recon and everything. World War II, it's even more advanced. You have fighters, fighter bombers. You have beginning of rockets, rudimentary missiles, communications, radio. Much better. And then it culminates with the atomic age and the nuclear bombings of Japan. So that's when things drastically change. You have to remember, this is the end of 1918. This started in 1938. It's only 20 years. That's one generation. Huge advance. It's huge. Cold War, fourth generation. Think Vietnam, Korea. So you're still transitioning from the World War II era. Now you're using proxies. Now you're using neighbors or friendlies or just associate countries to push forth your ideology or what have you. So you're going to see a lot of that even in modern day systems. A lot of spyware, eavesdropping, beginning satellites, that kind of stuff, Sputnik. After that we get to fifth generation warfare. Fifth generation warfare, you start to see the Predator drones, GPS satellites, which are carried on from the Cold War and further refined. Global war on terror is kind of like an odd child, because at the end of, say, the 80s Cold War era, you think of special operations. Think Rambo, right? Special forces going in, do some crazy stuff. But towards the end there, you have units like Degru and Delta going in and doing some really cool clandestine stuff, and that bleeds over into Black Hawk Down, Battle of Mogadishu, into GWAT, Global War on Terror. So each one bleeds into the other, but by the end of it becomes something kind of different. Fifth generation warfare, like I was saying, is the Predator missiles. You have the internet, so now you start linking up systems. And Americans in the West are really good about combined arms warfare. So, you got a guy on the ground with a pair of binoculars and GPS, radio or phone, what have you, dialing coordinates, things like JTAC or recon, and, bringing fire down to enemy position. Crazy good. This is really interesting here, fifth generation, because this is what we consider modern. I would say it's actually not. I'd say it's actually probably older by now. So here we have sixth generation. That's I think I've basically kind of come up with one that makes sense. Social media, AI-powered systems, drones. Now the Predator is drone, yeah, but the drones of these in Ukraine, they're little ones that are a lot cheaper to use. Also, each generation, the budget becomes concerned. If you can do more with less, like say a $50,000 drone to take out a $20 million piece of equipment, that helps your war budget a lot more. So we're delving into that. Also, the social media presence, which dives into psychological operations and influence operations and stuff like that. Winning side's over. And AI power, not so much like AI going to take you over Terminator, but AI powered systems. Like you have that right now with, I forget the name, it might be open source or the other one, but they're helping the Department of War with consolidating operations to run it more efficiently and quicker and reducing manpower. So there's a smoothing of the systems from 5th generation to 6th. After this, we'll have 7th generation warfare, which I'm sure we're already getting into with like directed energy weapons and sonics and that whole thing. Several years ago, I was at a cave in Louisville, and Louisville Mega Caverns. And interesting fact, they had DARPA was there, which is the Defense Advanced Research Project Administration, something like that. They were next door, and they were using drones to do reconnaissance of underground tunnel systems, mapping them with LiDAR. And the idea is, if you've ever heard of the feral city concept, which means basically war ultimately is going to happen in cities, metropolises, mega cities, not Judge Dredd, but cool if you got that reference. Anyway, so with like subway systems, okay, take if you're a gamer, Metro 2039 or whatever. And actually, you're seeing is actually in Gaza today. They went underground into the tunnels, and then Israel went in and did whatever they do, and so you're seeing people digging into cities because that's where the population of most countries live in, is in the cities. So it's feral city concept. I really recommend you look into it. A little bit of knowledge goes a long way, guys. This isn't just about shooting paper targets and rifles anymore. You've got to be on your mental A game and understand future concept weaponry. Because if you don't, you will just be that old FUD with a musket and a revolver and be like, good enough. Yeah, you're going to get smoked pretty fast. So, what does all this mean? 6th generation uses 5th, 4th, and even elements of 3rd generation warfare. The 1st and 2nd are more like a timepiece thing. We don't really use this so much. We've evolved since this, and it's a whole different field now. 6th generation warfare. And 7th will be a lot more AI stuff and a lot more drones. You'll probably see bots. You've already seen War Dogs, which was this autonomous drones pack things that they come out with. You'll have autonomous helicopters and Ultra Instinct. Okay, I don't know if you got that reference. I'm working out today. But you'll see a lot more systems like that. You'll still have people involved. You still have to have people. Okay, let's take the Marines right now in Iran. So there's an island they want to take. They take the islands into oil rigs into ports. That's what Marines do. They secure the land so a big army can go in and take more land. But that'd be really stupid to put a land force in Iran, which is like half the size of the United States. And if you thought Afghanistan was bad with their terrain, imagine a whole fucking half of the country of us covered in that kind of terrain, if not worse. No. Plus, you have to hold the major capital city and the major municipal cities. Unlikely, man. But best bet is just bloodshot everything. And really, your best bet is going to have the indigenous people take over and be Western friendly, and let them basically do the heady pack mule work of everything else. We just go in and blow shit up, which I think is basically what we're doing. So however you feel about that, that's the concept. Anyways, I want to go over this today. Like I said, this is going to be the beginning of my Whiteboard Series, because information is power, information is knowledge. If you don't understand this, you will get left behind very quickly. And there's stuff I have on here that I mentioned, which I will continue in the future. If you have questions or comments or want to add more to this, it's really important that we do, because we have to stay relevant. You have to keep your steel sharp and keep moving forward. If you think this future urban civilian conflict can be won with 1911s and bolt-action rifles, you are sadly mistaken. Intelligence is ever increasing, both artificial and human, and I don't know where this is going to end up. Probably in some kind of world war, followed immediately or within by civil war. And whatever parties are involved, we will see what happens. The formation of them is already set today. I'll maybe continue that in a different mini lecture I have here. And who am I? I'm just a guy that has autistic levels of nerdisms happening and a little ADD. And I look into a lot of stuff. I look into a lot of open source intelligence and basically philosophical weapon systems analysis and that kind of thing, because I'm a fucking nerd. Anyways, have a good weekend, guys. This is Black Pill. Knowledge is power. If you encounter fear, the best antidote is knowledge. Anyways, have a good weekend, guys. Bye.